for November 21st, 2019. Roll call, Eric.
Commissioner Pye?
Here.
Commissioner Brown? Commissioner Hartman?
Here.
Commissioner Rivers? President McGarrett?
Here.
Can I get everybody to stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks.
All right. Welcome. Welcome our guests. Thanks for coming. Okay, approval of last month's agenda.
Make a motion to approve.
Oh, minutes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of the Personal and Sub-Finance Subcommittee meeting dated 17 October, and also the minutes of the regular meeting of the Zion Park District dated 17 October 2019.
I second that.
Any further discussion needed? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of the agenda. So we don't, do we have any changes? No. Okay. I will entertain a motion to keep the agenda as stated.
So moved.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion needed?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Jess, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Any comments from the commissioners tonight? No? Okay, Marilyn. Anything from the attorney? No. All right. I will entertain a motion for the treasurer's report for the bills.
I make a motion that we entertain a motion to approve the total unpaid bills of 91351.39 for a total of 265,985.57.
I second that.
Any further discussion? Okay. Eric?
Commissioner Pye?
Aye.
Commissioner Hartman?
Aye.
President McGarrett?
Aye. Okay, director's report.
Okay, just in addition to what I put in my report, the IAPD conference, the early bird registration deadline is December 9th. So I have everybody here taken care of, so I will double check on the others before that date. I put in your packet the holiday luncheon for the seniors, which is going to be on Wednesday, December 4th at 10:45. Did you say whether you were going or not?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. And the Black History Program, I did put that flyer in there also since that was done. That's not until February, so that's early, but I just wanted to make sure that you guys had that date on your calendars if you were available. So we don't need to know whether you're going to that. Just want to make sure that you're welcome to attend, and if you are going to go, you can let me know. Okay?
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, on to new business. So approval of ordinance number 870 for the 2019 tax levy.
Okay, so as you guys are familiar with, Eric puts together this worksheet that is at the front. That is really to lay it out for us. We talked about this last month. We did have further conversation with the county after we did the estimated levy last month. It has changed very little. So that is listed out here. And then what we're really approving is the ordinance to do the tax levy, which is laid out in this document. And I would entertain any questions that you have about the actual ordinance itself. It just lays out this worksheet in the long form. So this really lays out how we can spend our money, how we can levy the taxes, and then how they're going to be expended is listed out here. So it gives us a guide required by the county in order to collect the property taxes.
And you said you were increasing the police one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask. Are
Yes.
you done doing this year and next year?
Yes, so where we're at right now is that there is a rate limit on the police fund, but we are not at the rate limit yet. But in order to maximize and make sure we have enough funding in the other fund, couldn't just pour that in there, but we did increase it quite a bit. It's 16,500 more than last year. So we'll try and bump that up until we hit that,
Done that.
the fund limit. The
Okay.
fund limit is, where we would be stopped,
And who establishes that fund limit?
the state.
The state?
So you can go to referendum and ask to increase the fund limit in your own area, but otherwise.
Through the county?
It would be something that we would want to put on a ballot, and you'd
Oh,
have to
okay,
have
so
it
you'd have
passed.
to vote for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
mhm. So you can do that individually as a district, but yeah, you would have to have a vote throughout. So these rate limits though are set by the
Set by the
state.
state.
So,
Okay.
yeah, you can't.
So in order to up it, we'd have to go through actually, we'd have to put it on a ballot to have the
Yes,
city
we'd have
vote
to have a
for it.
referendum
Okay,
for voters to vote on moving it up.
okay,
But we still have a little wiggle room.
Put general fund money in.
yeah.
Right, we can, yeah, and we can designate, like we have rec puts money into
Just
the
switch
pool.
it, right.
We used to put money into Shiloh Golf, the general fund can do support for, which, and when we do the budget is when we'll look at that and we'll,
Is there a limit on that? How much you can transfer over?
I mean, the general fund has that flexibility to transfer funds into other funds for different purposes.
Right.
There's a limit on really how much the police fund or any fund could have in a cash balance at the end of the year.
Okay,
So in theory, if we had the need to spend however much money on police, we could do that with the general fund's support.
okay.
but, we
Right.
don't have unlimited funds there
Yeah.
either.
Right,
Yeah.
no, I
Most of
understand that.
is-
I'm just
So
trying
it's,
to
it's just
figure
a
out-
balancing act, but
Yeah.
yeah, we can do that, and so we'll probably look at that when we're doing the budget.
Okay.
How we're gonna, fund the budget, that might be a piece of it, but we don't have to do that in the levy.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was an actual, no kidding, this is how much you can go and you can't go any farther, designated by the state. And in order to extend that fund, you'd have to go out for a city ballot. But then transferring money from the general fund over, is there a limit on how much we could transfer over if we had to?
No, not to my knowledge. I mean, the
Okay.
general fund
Yeah.
extension is going to be $1 million, or so.
Mhm.
And the recreation fund also has that flexibility as well
Okay.
to support other funds.
Gotcha.
So in theory, if we can't levy enough property tax, we can subsidize the police fund with.
Gotcha, okay, super.
And, as the EAV increases,
Yeah.
those the fund limits, they just grow with the EAV. So, they don't move, but you have more EAV dollars that are going into that
That fund, okay.
percentage.
Jeff, you're good?
How many benches would you like to see in the future?
I don't know that we have really set that. We just it's probably going to be somewhat trial and error, and depending upon the rangers that he hires and how much time they have available, and really setting a good schedule that covers all the things that we want to have covered. So I don't know that we have a set number necessarily. We're kind of still working through, hours that we want to have covered. So then that's going to dictate, if we need more or less people. And so that's kind of a balancing act. So I would say that we haven't really gotten to that point yet. of having.
Working towards it, but yeah, we haven't got to that magic number.
No, yeah, we are working towards it though, so, you know, it'll be easier to make those decisions once we have a little more information on how it works with who we have now, right?
Yeah.
So we've made great progress, and so that's the information we'll figure out as we move forward.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. I will then entertain a motion for the approval of ordinance number 870 for the 2019 tax levy.
One more question. With the levy now, we won't have to go through, they won't change it again, will they?
Well, okay, so you know how it works is
Yeah.
that we have an estimated number from the county for what our EAV is.
Yeah.
That gets finalized though in the spring, in the spring.
I thought you would find out like January.
Spring.
No, we usually
March.
don't get it until at least
Spring
March.
break.
So then when we get that, if that changes, we may have to make a few changes in this levy document. We've done that. But we've been pretty close. We've been pretty right on. So we had to make a couple adjustments last year, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
This was a pretty good number. So this year it might be a little more questionable because of this new software that they have at the county. But we're hoping that, you know, that we're really close here. And so we always have that in March that, you know, there may be a massage that we have to do to it if there's a change there.
Couple pen and inks and that's it.
Yeah, it really hasn't been, we haven't had any
No, nothing major.
really major issues, so that's what we're hoping for again.
Any other questions? No? Okay, so now I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the ordinance 870, the 2019 tax levy.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, the agreement number 751.
Yeah, that we were gonna, were we gonna do a voice vote on that one?
Yeah,
Roll call for that.
wait, this one?
Or a
On
roll
the-
call? Yeah.
The roll call. Oh, roll
didn't
call.
do a roll
I didn't
call.
do a roll call. Doggone it.
Yeah, I think you have to. do
Okay, I do have to do a roll call. I'm sorry about that. Could you do a roll call on that?
Sure. Commissioner Hartman,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay. Okay, now we will go towards the agreement of the number 751, Lake County Adopt a Highway.
Okay, so the McClory Bike Trail runs through Zion from 33rd Street up to, it actually runs north, you know, all the way into Winthrop Harbor in Wisconsin, but, so where it ends in Zion is about,
33rd.
huh?
33rd Street.
33rd, and it goes north to, you know, basically 173. You know, it
Okay.
goes over 173 on that, on the bridge.
And then just stops right there, right?
No, it keeps going.
Oh, does,
That
no, I
goes
know,
all the
our
way.
part does.
Oh, our part, yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of, it's actually Zion a little bit north of there too.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we would probably do the cleanup up to,
We put a garbage can at 17.
at 17th Street, yeah, so that would probably be the end, right, for the Zion section. So, we've been talking about the bike trail that we have that runs parallel to the McClory path, and that we would probably remove that at some point. So we wanted to take some interest in keeping the McClory path cleaner. There's a lot of trash that ends up over there. So we met with the county and we put in some trash receptacles on the trail already. And so they brought up the Adopt a Trail. It's not Adopt a Highway, it's really Adopt a Trail, but they use their Adopt a Highway program to do it. So we would be taking responsibility for that section. It requires us to do 2 cleanups a year.
Wow.
They do give us supplies to do the cleanups, but we would be taking the responsibility to recruit volunteers and to do it. I have a commitment from the mayor of Zion to assist us with that because he was very interested in doing a cleanup on the trail and taking some responsibility, but we are taking it on as the park district. So this is just an agreement with the county that we're going to be responsible to do the 2 cleanups.
And when's it start? When's the first cleanup start?
We would probably do the first one in the spring.
Well, if I'm not in a motorized wheelchair, I'll definitely help out.
Yeah. Good. So, yeah, I'm hoping that we can really get people engaged, kind of like the community cleanup the city did a couple, that was last year or the year before. They've done a couple of them, and they have gotten people to get engaged. We do have people who come and clean specific parks or donate their time, so we already have that program in place if people contact us. But this one would be really more of a push to get people to come and do specific cleanup. So the spring and the fall are the 2 times where we would probably do that. Right after the winter season and right before. And we actually have public service and the township kids go out there and pick up trash, you know, on that trail too. It's more than twice a year that it's gonna be done, but we'll do 2 big events.
Have you, how often do you have to pick up that trash that's in the receptacles?
It hasn't been that bad. I've been checking it myself to make sure we're
Mhm.
keeping on top of it. But it has been collecting, you know, I've been out there and they've been half full.
Oh.
So, I mean, we just installed them about a month ago.
Which is good because, you
Yeah.
know, people
People
are
are using
using
them,
them,
yeah.
which is what we were hoping for.
And it is a 2-year program that we can renew in the future.
Right, so I think it's a win-win for us and the
Yeah.
county, right? You know, they are willing to work with us, and there's some areas of the trail that are where the tree and brush growth is a little bit thick between the street and the trail. And I did ask them about maybe thinning some of that out so people could feel comfortable walking on the trail instead of feeling like you're secluded if you get back in there where the road isn't visible. So they were really open to working with us, which I appreciated. So I think this would be great.
Are they done blacktop that?
They just put, well, actually, when I met with them, they did talk about putting down asphalt. They've considered it, but they just redid the crushed limestone that it is this year. So I can't imagine that they're planning on paving it this year. And I think that they're county-wide trying to make a decision on whether that's the way to go or not. And I think that it has pros and cons for both ways. You know, asphalt's harder to maintain, but it's a much nicer surface for riding your bike on if it's well maintained.
And young Kenosha is all blacktop.
It's not all, I don't think.
Kenosha, that way it is.
When you get into Kenosha.
Yep, all the way to the end.
Yeah.
I've been on that.
Yeah, it's probably the Winthrop Harbor where I'm thinking is not. It doesn't change to blacktop then until you get to Kenosha.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement number 751, County of Lake Division of Transportation, Adopt a Highway/Trail Program.
So moved.
We'll have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. All right, so part-time staff salary range.
Somehow I don't have it in my packet again. I didn't have it the other day when we were talking about it.
Okay.
Okay, so we did,
Oh, okay.
That's why, that's my copy. Okay, part-time staff salary ranges, we did this for the first time in a long time, in 2017 or 18? 2018? Yeah. So with the new minimum wage and the increase in minimum wage that's going to be going up, I did a little bit of change to this in that I put in here that all minimum wage amounts will be at the current adult minimum wage as it changes through the years, so that we didn't have to worry about whether this was current. It just is assumed at the beginning that all minimums are going to be minimum wage as they change. And so I just wanted to update this, make sure that we're up to date, and have a scale for the staff to really follow. We have a minimum, we have a maximum for jobs. I did not change any of the maximums at this time, but that may be something that we are going to have to consider as the minimum wage goes up, that some of those maximums we may have to adjust. I don't think this year is the year to be concerned about that.
Is it 4-year influx to the max?
I want to say 5.
For, I
And
thought,
it's,
2025, I think, is when it's at
5 years.
15.
Yeah, I
5
think it's
years?
5. I think so.
and that'll when it reaches the max
Starting January 1st.
of this year. Well, this
Right.
year coming up, okay.
Right.
yeah, it starts for January 1st of 2020, and
Okay,
it's January 1st of 2025 is when it'll go to 15, which is the max.
Right, so
Okay,
it'll
gotcha.
increase 75, and then again in July of 2020. There'll be another increase.
twice in
and
1
then
year.
it's
Yeah.
every
Yeah,
year
and then
after.
it's
it'll
every
go
year
up to
after that.
10
Just
at that point.
Mhm.
good job.
Does it just in one note?
So this is,
Does it just in one note?
Illinois?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just Illinois.
yes. So I think this is a good document to keep on top of, and so I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page with this. And as I said, you know, the maximums, we'll have to probably look at those as we move forward in this, but at this point, it's the minimum wage that we need to keep up with.
Right, okay.
Specifically.
Okay.
We need to vote on this or no?
Yes. Is it okay for all boys?
Yeah.
So I will entertain a motion to approve the part-time staff salary range for 2020 to 2021 as presented.
So move.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, contract to address invasive species removal.
Okay, so the recommendation is on the first page, but I do want you to, make sure that you have looked through the information that Rick Kroska, he is a park foreman, horticulturist, arborist with Vernon Hills Park District, and a friend of Alan's who came out and really did an evaluation of the oak savanna at Shepherd's Crook. This is very interesting reading, I think. It's really, looking at the aerial pictures that he added to this report, I think, it's really neat that we can think about.
What's it look like? I'm sorry.
That we can think about bringing back this native oak savanna that was here before Shepherd's Crook. So this is the first steps in working on that. Behind that report are the bids that Charlie got for from the tree companies that are interested in working with us to do that. And it's Nels Johnson and Dowie and ILM. Back to the recommendation is that we work with Nels Johnson Tree Experts in the amount of $18,780 to remove the invasives and really get the health of that area started in the direction that we would like it to go. And I think it's a good opportunity to market that, you know, we're doing some work specifically for the environment out there. We will have a crop of trees that will be indigenous to that area that should be very healthy in the soil instead of bringing trees in that aren't growing there. So there's good opportunity really to enhance the course, I think, by taking on this project. We did budget this project in this year, and this dollar amount is less than what we had budgeted, which is nice. We save a little bit there.
Will it enhance my golf game?
You'll be able to find your golf ball in there now.
Good
It'll
deal.
eliminate
That's what I
the
need, somebody to find my
No, it
golf
won't
ball.
impede golf, right? Won't impede play.
No.
Where was this at? Nobody that Chuck where?
behind 7 green, all that thicket that's in there, all the way to 17 green. Under those oak trees. When I first got here, I noticed all the buckthorn. The state of Illinois says it's a noxious weed and it needs to be eradicated wherever you find it. And it ruins the soil, buckthorn. It's hard to plant into it. We'll get it done, but that's what initiated the whole conversation about that area. When I brought my friend out, he went, "Holy cow, do you know what an asset you've got here? These are disappearing. You need to take care of this." And that's when we talked about, do we do it in a 5 or 10 year window and try to do it ourselves? That's just not the best plan.
Right.
Right, let's just get it started
Right.
so that, you know, I mean, just getting rid of the buckthorn is, you know, I mean, we have Kathy that does that out at HOSA, and it's a big project every year.
All right.
The whole big oaks that are there, if you're standing on 17 tee box and you want to go over that whole woods,
Oh, right there.
yeah.
Okay. I'm like picturing when you said over the 7
Behind.
on 7, not 8. I'm like, 18 and 9 right there. Okay.
You're good, Jeff?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll entertain a motion for the Oak Savannah.
Some
No.
Okay. You have to-
It's, I make a motion to approve the contract to address invasive species removal at the Shepherd's Crook Oak Savannah.
To
For-
Nels Johnson.
I'm sorry, to, Nell Johnson.
Nels J. Johnson,
Yeah.
tree experts for 1878.
Yep, Neil Johnson for 1878, and it's their tree removal.
Do I have a second?
second.
Okay. Eric?
Commissioner Pye,
Aye.
Commissioner Hartman,
Aye.
President McGarrett.
Aye. Okay, so we are on to the golf equipment purchase.
Okay, it's become much more prevalent to have these pieces of equipment that have been pre-bid by national companies so that we don't have to go out to bid. We just are going to purchase at the low bid price. The recommendation is to buy a rough mower and a greens mower. One of the things that Alan and I talked about today that I wanted to make sure to share with you is in light of the impending minimum wage and how that's going to impact all of our operations, getting these kinds of equipment, this new equipment in place is going to make the operation much more efficient. We're not gonna have machines that are breaking down. We're going to have in this rough mower, a mower that is going to take care of some needs that now are very labor intensive with hand mowing, you know. Hand mowing is not the word, that's the word. Push mowing, thank you. And and the greens mower, you know, we just have an old one. It just really needs to be replaced. So getting some new equipment in place will make life easier for Charlie to get things done in a more efficient manner. And then they're going to rebate us the Workman GTX, which is a utility vehicle.
Did you want to speak to the budget?
Oh, yeah. So we did not budget for this equipment purchase for this year, but we did budget for doing the patio, or outdoor work is what we put in the budget. We are not completed in the process of doing that patio work for this fiscal year, so we will defer that to our next fiscal year and budget it next year. And so the money that we have budgeted in there
To
will
fund it for this.
will be available to fund this. And, you know, we could put this in next year, but then that's just gonna make next year a bigger amount. So let's get this taken care of since we have budgeted money in there. And then next year we'll be looking at the outdoor work again to work on the patio.
Bill, do you have questions?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if it's, so this is actually what we're bidding for right now, is for the new equipment, right?
It's a pre-bid, so
Or
we're.
pre-bid? Okay.
Yeah, so it's eliminating going out to bid, right?
Correct.
So this is the equipment we're asking
Yeah.
for?
Yes.
Okay, all right, because I got, this is what I looked at.
No, that's
Oh.
That's
surplus.
something
Yeah,
different.
That's
Okay.
surplus. That's stuff that's old and that's been hanging around and we
Yeah, I
wanna
didn't
just
know
get rid
how-
of. No,
okay,
this is
I
the
got
new
you.
stuff. We want the new stuff.
I got it.
You said about the patio. Have you guys talked about that recently? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's in our-
two of these contracts
Okay.
are about that, so we'll be talking about that too.
Okay, so anything else before we vote? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the golf equipment purchase from pre-bid program from Reindeer, Reinders for the Greensmaster, Groundsmaster, and Utility. The Greensmaster, the Groundsmaster, the Workman GTX, all for a total of $105,959.45. Did I have to say them separately? Or did-
No,
okay.
that's fine.
some move.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I second that. I was just trying to read that.
Is there any discussion we need further?
No.
Okay, Eric?
Commissioner Hartman,
Here, or aye.
Commissioner Pye,
I
President McGarrett.
Aye. All right, agreement with 3D Design.
Okay, so 3D Design, if you guys remember, we did have a contract with them to work with us to get a concept of what we wanted to do at Shepherd's Crook. And Alan and I spent several months, at least, really going back and forth on, you know, what we were looking for there. And a lot of what we're thinking about is to upgrade the patio that's behind the clubhouse. What really kind of started on that was that the canopy over the back deck was failing and needed to be replaced. So are we gonna just replace it, or are we gonna do a bigger project and kind of reface that whole area? So we kind of came up with a plan that would address that, and then We talked about a new sign out front. We talked about a side patio on the south end of the building. So we kind of then got into kind of a master plan of improvements for Shepherd's Crook. And so this would be like the first phase would be to get that back patio renovated. So what we need to do now, since we have pretty much come up with a plan with 3D, is we have to have the design done. We have to have the actual plan designs in place in order to do construction.
And construction would happen at the end of
Next
the
year.
season.
So we were talking about doing that, yeah.
Next year.
Yes, but like starting it in Labor Day. Although, like Alan and I talked today, the canopy is pretty much done. When it came down this year, it's too torn, we can't put it back together with tape anymore. It was over taped. So we're kind of going to be going into the season with the idea that we are going to be doing some construction out there. We're going to be doing some updating out there. We're not going to put another canopy up. We're going to, that's how we're going to let the golfers know that we're working on it. But really doing major construction more after Labor Day, after the bulk of the golf season.
So do you have to do something short-term because the canopy is not in use anymore? Will you have to?
We're having conversation about that. I think we need to sit down really and evaluate that.
What it would cost to provide a temporary
Yeah.
awning.
Or if it's just for this year, maybe you're gonna sit inside
Sun-
more
than
than
on the patio.
out. Some people may not, it's probably only gonna be a huge issue when it's hot and you wanna sit in the shade. I mean, people sit out there outside the canopy when it's nice out because they don't wanna be under the
Right.
shade. So, so we haven't really decided on that yet.
They have those big industrial umbrellas that go up, right? Those
Yeah.
that you see around
So there's some,
pools or something.
so there's some options like that if we feel like we need to have something. So this is really to get the plans done, because we need the plans in order to do
Do the
construction.
construction.
Yeah.
And they're gonna come out around Labor Day and draw the plans up?
No, we'll be doing the plans
Throughout?
like now,
Okay.
because we're gonna have to do all the work so that they can actually start construction. So that means, so that's where Camosi comes in
Okay.
with the bidding and,
Okay.
doing that process. So this is just the designs, which we'll get those done so that we can then do
Move
this.
forward with the construction.
Yes.
Okay.
So this will be done sooner than later.
And you want to start working on that like day after Labor Day.
Construction.
Yeah, but we
Well-
gotta do everything now.
Right. I mean, that's our target. Maybe it's gonna be earlier than that. It just
Yeah.
kinda depends.
Okay.
We're not gonna try and disrupt the whole golf season.
Any other questions? All right. I will entertain a motion to approve the agreement with 3D Design to prepare construction plans for renovation at Shepherd's Crook. As stated in the amounts on page 5 of 6, and the amount of professional fees total of $15,950.
Like, so move.
I second it.
Okay. Any further discussion needed? Okay, Eric?
Commissioner Hartman,
Aye.
Commissioner Pye, President McGarrett.
Aye. All right. Now we've got a Camosi, the agreement with Camosi.
Right, so, what we're looking at here is the pre-construction services of detailed estimates, preliminary schedules, working with 3D design on the actual design, what's the word I'm trying to, the plans, the design plans. Assist with submittals to local governing agencies for permits, all of these kind of pre-construction services. So all that stuff is going to be going on before we get to construction. And so that would be a lump sum amount of $8,000 for pre-construction to do all of those things. And then construction phase services are the second part of this agreement. So 7% fee of the cost of construction for a range of $175,000 to $200,000, and 6.75% fee on the cost of construction if we go and increase that dollar amount $200,000 to $300,000.
So that's that fee we're paying Camozzi to manage the project.
Exactly. So I told 3D Design and Camozzi Construction that my goal was to make this project at $175,000 to $200,000. That was the goal that we had in mind. And I think that we will budget it to be a little higher than that, because the things that we're going to have to make decisions on to finalize that project still will still come to light as we move on. There's things like, what kind of a system are we going to use as the cover? We're going to have to look at those specifically. What are we going to use for the base? Are we going to do poured concrete, stamped concrete? Are we going to do pavers? Which one of those is going to have the best use and is going to fit in a budget? Because, if I might want to do pavers, but, we could spend all of our money on pavers. Well, that's not really going to work, because we want to do the whole project. So I think this gives us a lot of flexibility, which I appreciate from Camozzi, that they're working with us on that flexibility to really figure out those specific details. So we'll probably budget this more on the high end, trying to stay within our goal, but to have a finished product that is what we're looking for. I don't want to sell it short if we're going to put this kind of money into it, that we're doing a good job and that we're have a finished product that is going to have some return on our investment. So that's obviously what we're looking for, right?
And a new Savannah.
And a new Savannah, right? And so that's what that's about.
Questions? Jess, you got questions?
You would talk about 175 and 200, then you mentioned 300. Are you saying if it's over 200, we gotta come to, let's say, March, you find out in something. If we're over 200, do we gotta come back to this agreement?
No.
No.
That's why it's nice that this is all in one agreement, so that it gives us that flexibility. When we talk about budget,
Yeah.
that's when we're gonna really talk about what kind of number we're gonna put there. But really, it's going to be in that pre-construction phase, when we make all those decisions, that we're going to figure out where we're going to end up with this project. So this gives us the ability to say, these are the parameters. We're going to put them both in here, and so we have the flexibility to do that.
Okay.
So we don't have to revisit it. We'll still make you aware, but we're not going to revisit it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, I am going to entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Camozzi Construction to provide construction management and demolition services for renovations at Shepherd's Crook for the pre-construction phase services, a total lump sum amount of $8,000, and then the construction phase services 7% fee on the cost of construction for the range of $175,000 to $200,000, and a 6.75% fee of the cost of construction for range of $2,001 to $300,000, $200,001 to $300,000.
So moved. Go ahead.
Do I have a second?
I think,
Do we need additional discussion? Eric?
Commissioner Pye?
I,
Commissioner Hartman?
Aye.
President McGarrett?
Aye. Okay. Now we've got the golf rates for the 2020 and the 21 season.
So there's no recommendation for changes at Shiloh Golf Course. This is only at Shepherd's Crook. The number in red is the new proposed rate. The number next to it in black is the old rate, so that's the change. That would be going from the black number to the red number. And are there any questions about that?
Just the one that I asked you, but I just asked Marilyn if you had like checked around to make sure that those were still in line, and she's like, yeah, you did.
Yes, actually, Alan said that to me. It's like I didn't give him that background, like which we did last year. We looked at the comparison of local courses. So, Alan's still. I mean, he's not looking to overprice us. So
Right.
we're pricing ourselves out of the market.
And I think with the improvements coming, I think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
do you think people would complain about the price increase?
Yes. They always do.
Yeah.
That's never gonna change.
Right.
But you think they will be like coming back?
Yeah, I mean, we've given them other opportunities. The super users, we implemented a season pass a couple of years ago, so they're gonna do the math and say, well, if it's going to 69, might I lower my average cost per round if I get the season pass? That did not go up. The $69 loyalty pass that we have, which is $5 off any round, any time,
Yeah.
that price didn't go up. You can go on our dynamic pricing on Golf Now, and the computer will run the algorithm every hour and adjust it accordingly. It'll lower the rate as you get closer to that tee time. So there's ways for them to save money that way as well. So we provide, I think, quite a few opportunities to save money.
And they know about those opportunities?
Oh, yeah.
How many people got the season pass?
That's a good question. I mean, it was about the same as last year. I would say off the top of my head, 14 or 15 people. It's not huge, but it's not based to reduce revenue across the board for everyone, where you're just cannibalizing the revenue you've already got because you
Right.
throw out a $500 season pass and everybody goes, holy cow, I usually spend about $1,000 a year out there. I'm going to buy the pass. So we didn't price it to sell a lot of them. We priced it to give the people that were super users an opportunity to, save some money.
Any questions? Okay. I will entertain a motion to approve the proposed golf rates for 2020-21 season.
Someone,
A second.
Okay. Any further discussion needed? Eric?
Commissioner Hartman?
Aye.
Commissioner Pye?
aye.
President McGarrett?
Aye. Okay, surplus property at Shepherd's Crook.
So I thought Charlie did a good job on
Yeah,
laying
he
this
did.
out with pictures and, one of the reasons that we were looking for new equipment is because some of the old equipment is so old that it's really out of date and in poor condition, and a lot of it is obviously sitting outside. Some of it is sitting inside and taking up space where we could, put our newer equipment indoors. So it's really a good idea. So we just want to make sure that you guys were aware that we had surplus property. It will be disposed of in appropriate ways. Some of it is just needs to be junked because it's not worth anything to anyone. But if there is something that could be worth something to someone, Charlie will try to recoup some of our resources when he's by selling it or getting some kind of money for it.
Jess wants to know what the year of the Ford tractor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we know. I mean, a Ford dealer could tell you. That's obviously got the most value. There are guys that just love those tractors. But it just doesn't have an application for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be a few years old.
It's on Green Acres, by the way, so. it's got-
I'll probably look at that and tell you what year that is.
It was, I saw it. Watched it last night, by the way.
Yeah, you'll have to take that picture home to Tom, Kay, and find out.
It was built in 1900, Jess, no, I'm just kidding.
It's a 1900.
Yeah, I could probably show him the picture, he'd probably be able to tell you what
So, just want to make sure you're aware that we're cleaning up.
Any questions before I entertain a motion? Okay, entertain a motion to approve. Yes?
Does the golf club run?
No.
batteries are probably really expensive.
It was made from 1979 to 1983, that model.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, there
So
you
it's 40 years old.
okay.
Okay,
Did you
I
Google
will entertain a motion for the surplus property at Shepherd's Crook Golf Course to be disposed at Charlie and Alan's discretion.
So moved.
A second.
Okay, any further discussion needed? All right, I guess we can just do a voice vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Short circuiting.
Open the gun.
Okay, last but not least, police, AD, administrative, updated policy.
Right, so you remember, I don't know, when we did most of those policies, that one meeting, we went through a whole bunch. Yeah, it was early in the year. So this is really just an update to the policy manual to provide for the public safety officer position in the police department. So it's a housekeeping to add to our policy manual.
Any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
You have
I
to
make a
the
motion to approve the policy, what's that, admin,
Admin 102.
102.5, public safety officer job description update, policy approval.
I second that.
Okay, any further discussion needed? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carried. Now I will entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of the board discussing closed session minutes review pursuant to section 2C21 of the Illinois Open Meeting Act.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.